And maybe we'll be able to stream, and nothing bad will happen. Yes,
You just jinxed it.
Well, I like to think that these bad things would happen whether or not I wish them into the world, but, like, me acknowledging them sort of mitigates how bad they can be. Hello, everybody. This is Grimcad, and we are back to more Dungeons & Dragons. We are playing 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons in a homebrew campaign that we are calling The Shifting City. Currently, we are sort of stuck. Stuck might be a misnomer? I mean, I guess you guys could leave. It would just take a little while. In sort of this area in half the city that has been destroyed by a vengeful or playful or just maybe slightly misguided omnipotent, near omnipotent being of awesome power and, you know, whatever the quote from Aladdin was about the genies. We are joined by several players today, and they will be saying hi shortly. Does anyone want to say hi first? Usually I just pick somebody at random.
Pick me.
Ah, yeah, by all means, say hi.
Hi. I feel so privileged.
You kind of don't go first very often. But that was Dee Dee. Dee Dee is playing Tadpole, our...
The name's technically not Dee Dee, by the way.
It's not. It's Devil Dog. Devil Dog is, like, incredibly, like, wordy and mouthy for me. I apologize.
Dee Dee's a girl's name.
Alright, Tadpole.
Dee Dee, get out of the laboratory.
Anyone would like to go next?
Hello.
Sure.
I beat you to it.
Yeah.
Somebody say something.
Something.
You guys like introductions. Generally, you say who you are when you're doing an introduction. Yeah.
If I tell them my true name, they can use magic against me.
That's true.
We needed some sort of order to this chaos. We needed you for this group.
I now see the error of my ways. But that was Adrian, who is playing our happy-go-lucky, newly undead mage. And that was also Guts, who was playing our happy-go-lucky, oldly undead bard.
Very oldly undead.
We're also joined by Rick.
It's gonna snow tonight.
I know, kiddo.
And since Sam and Ben are coming over tomorrow, I'm doing all my homework work today.
What a great idea. We're also joined by my 8-year-old daughter. Say hi, Riley.
Hello.
She had a half day today, so she may be slightly more vocal than she typically is.
Yeah.
Rick, say hi.
Hello there. I am around. Sort of.
Rick is playing our happy-go-lucky barbarian dragonborn. I guess dragonborn barbarian. And last but not least, we are joined by Zeiss Rowan.
I had a dream of me doing this.
She's literally jumping up and down right next to me. That's it. Alright, so last time... Okay, calm down. Last time, we were sort of in between some things. We had a conversation between Zeus and Guts. Hold on one moment. I'm sorry, kiddo. You gotta leave me to my game, though, okay? You're being too much of a distraction right now. All right. She was too much of a distraction. I had to send her out of the room. Let's see. We had a conversation between Zoosh and Guts. Zoosh is sort of unapproving of the direction individual party members are taking, to put it lightly, and has sort of volunteered herself to be the moral compass of the group. So we're going to sort of see how that plays out. It may be good and maybe not so good. We had a little bit of a flirting session between Rick and between Kegno, the female orcish leader of the End of Time, that is going to have a little bit of follow-up after what else happened. One of the things that they were talking about is they suggested, we're curious about sort of who was necessarily the strongest in sort of an open, free-for-all kind of fight. This had been one of the things that we, as players, had sort of wanted to do and talked a little bit about. And so we sort of went ahead, and organized it. Long story short, Adrian wound up coming out on top and won a random superior healing potion. I believe it was superior?
Yeah, I gave it to Rick.
Supreme healing is what it's called.
Supreme.
Yeah. Which was given to Rick. The other thing was that there was a conversation between Lurk and Tadpole, in which Lurk sort of, almost technically, caught Tadpole being sneaky. And sort of made some vague, gosh, I don't even know how to describe it. He sort of wanted to show her something, something that he could do, and something that it seemed like he wanted to teach her. Tadpole, probably being Tadpole, was a little bit slightly wary of it, but nevertheless sort of agreed to go ahead and meet at some point in time. Then this sort of battle happened. This sort of a big old free-for-all. We were all on the map. Some fun was had, some tempers rose a little bit, but, all in all, I think we had a pretty good time. So we're going to wind up picking up pretty much right there. This is almost immediately after this sort of battle happened. This sort of mock battle, I suppose. Because, there were some conditions and whatnot that many of you would probably not have been fighting in the first place, if at all possible. I think the first thing that would really happen is that Kegno would come up to you, Rick. And you've been spending at least the last week or so fairly well within her presence. So, you've gotten to sort of know a little bit of personality traits and things like that. And as she comes up to you, she's pretty clearly disappointed. She sort of pulls you away and tries to find a quiet moment with you. And when she speaks, she does sound disappointed. Was that it? She asks.
My mind went to the same place, I think. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, basically, but didn't you say how many skeletons were trying to kill me? Absolutely everyone out there was trying to go for me.
Well, yeah, but that's not which you told me would happen, and that's not how it happened. You spoke before, you fighting with honor and all, and that's not what happened. I didn't necessarily expect you to win if there were 4 of your friends all ganging up at you, but I didn't expect you to pick on the weaker members first and just do what the other ones asked of you. I thought...
I didn't just do what the others asked of me. I got a power bonus from doing it. I negotiated my way to a better standing in it.
I guess that's part of the problem, is that I had this inflated ideal of you that you could do it on your own and you could help and you would fight yourself for what you believed in, and you're just a person, and that's okay. But it is what it is. And she sort of pulls you in for a little hug and then sort of walks away afterwards. Unless you try to stop her.
Baby, don't go.
I don't think I would.
Okay.
She pretty right. She pretty right.
All right. So the other thing is that the bigwigs, at some point, the people we're sort of associated with, i.e. Ren would come to you, Adrian. Kegno would come to you, Rick. Lurk would come to you, Tadpole. Sort of Farron would come to you, Guts, and Orsted would also probably come with Rick. There's going to be sort of a large scale is a bad way to put it. Sort of a small scale, kind of the exact wrong way to put it, discussion tonight of what to do with the city. It's been a week now. People have sort of been getting along to the idea that something else has been done, and they want to include you in this conversation, basically, because, why wouldn't you include the PCs in the conversation with the NPCs? But more or less, they want you here tonight because we're going to be making a decision of what we, as in the residents at the end of time, and the party, are going to be doing exactly. In the meantime, is there anything else that anyone would like to do? And this is sort of like the last minute things that may or may not need to happen.
Not really. This is a very boring place. I like the old city where there were slaves that I could, lead in rebellion.
I like the old city where there were slaves.
Oof.
For a whole different reason. Well, I think we should know where, which part of America Rick's from.
Oof. All right. Well, then I will go ahead and pull us onto the map. You can pull your tokens pretty much everywhere. Excuse me, anywhere. Oh my gosh, my kid is being so loud. I don't know if you guys can hear in the other room, but I certainly can.
I made all this food myself.
So at some point, the meeting would sort of start, and it is more sort of unofficial than an actual meeting, so things are sort of very free-form, etc., etc. And Kegno would begins talking, and she would begin by asking you all, what's your goal here at this place? You've come here... when you came here, I believe you were trying to seek a profit from trading. Afterwards, you sort of helped us out in going out and getting supplies, and then you were at least on the sort of sidelines while this sort of impending disaster happened. But what is it that you're here for? What do you I guess that's the thing I don't understand is, what do you want from all this? Are you following us? Are you... Okay. So, I mean, you know, at this point, there's sort of a silence filling through the air. Because, you know, she sort of asked what you all want, and...
I thought we were waiting on Rick.
We're all
I'm
just
sorry.
vacantly staring
We
back at him.
can't wait.
Well, I would like to actually investigate options to return back to our normal timeline, preferably with something that would make this trip worthwhile financially. Do we know of any possibilities of doing that, or is this our existence?
Ren would speak up at this point. Well, on this one, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, surely there's nothing that can be done that can be undone. We just sort of have to realize the nature of what was done and how it was done and make attempts to undo it.
So
Successful in doing that?
we need to find the rock then.
The Rock?
I don't
No,
know what
Dwayne
you
Johnson.
guys- I don't know
Let
what
him-
you guys would refer to it as. The blue one, sovereign me.
The
The
one
Rock.
that called himself the Sovereign.
Yes, that one.
Right. Well, he came through... probably about 2 weeks before you came through. He acted haughty, would be sort of an understatement. He stopped a while, he spoke, he had this thing about touching people's faces, and he sort of shudders a little bit as if recalling the memory. And then he sort of went straight through to the north. We told him not to, that it wasn't safe there. the time would work differently, but he wouldn't listen to anything that he said. He said something along the lines of, God told me to go to the center, so I will be going to the center. No one will stop me.
Sounds like we should head north.
Sounds like crazy
someone
talk.
could be stopped. No. Considering he was the one that caused this big, for lack of a better word, mess, he would probably be a good starting point to solving the issues.
He's the one who caused it? He did not. I mean, he seemed powerful, yes, but certainly not of this scale. And he sort of waves his hand.
I very highly doubt it was completely his fault, but he certainly had at least a main hand in it.
Interesting.
The overinflated self-worth of something that believes itself a god.
The sovereign and me are two different creatures. Remember, the sovereign had nothing to do with this.
That's actually a point. So they're talking about the thing he made, the red crystal.
The big,
it was?
the
I
big
believe
one,
it was
the-
a big blue one, but after asking for descriptions and whatnot, you getting, yes, that certainly seems to be what they're describing.
Ah. Well, yeah, I would.
Out of curiosity, Rick, can I scry me?
He would not be on the same plane of existence with you. You would sort of attempt to do it. Your spell would cast as normal, but what you would see is just sort of a blinding white flash of light with sort of hints of color going at it. I know you're not supposed to stare at the sun, but if anybody's actually looked at the sun, you sort of get that burn in, you get other sort of little colors and whatnot. That's the kind of thing that you're getting when you're looking.
Well then, let's scry at the solvent and see what he's doing. Well, scrying works the time dilation. Do we just get a long exposure shot?
On one moment. Because I have to grab his sheet. Wisdom is not his strong suit. Okay.
Yeah, I met him firsthand, so the DC is 23, but yeah.
You get this sort of scene being painted in front of you. There's a room, rather large. It looked like it was made of some sort of metal to begin with, but it looks like there's some sort of crystalline structure starting to grow over it. In sort of the center of the room, there's a throne made of crystal. If you think of like the Game of Thrones sort of iron throne, all sorts of jagged pieces sticking out from it, that's a very good idea of the thing that I'm trying to say. He's sitting down on there, and he's staring at a sort of table in front of him. It doesn't look like there's much on the table, but there's some sort of blackness that's on or in the table that's certainly unnatural. What you're looking at on the table isn't so much something that's here in this physical world that he's looking at, but he's looking at something else beyond that. And he just sort of is sitting on this throne, staring into this abyss.
Well, I'll get my rag and clean up the blackness.
I assume Adrian shares that information with us.
Adrian, do you share that information with them?
Yeah, totally.
Well, has anyone seen any giant crystal chairs recently?
I have a feeling I know where he might be. Didn't you guys just say he headed north?
We did. I mean, north is not exactly relevant here, but for all intents and purposes, straight north is where he headed through.
So that general direction, pointing in a direction.
Yeah. If we pull each other to the map or so for a minute, we being where Farron is, he headed north. Yeah. Whoops. Orstat would speak up at this point. So, is there an implication here from you all that you have some sort of way to fix all of this?
I mean...
I do have a ritual.
I wouldn't go that far, but...
No, I worked out a ritual, remember?
A ritual?
If you have somewhat of an idea, then yes. I was going to say that no, but we can do what we always do, which is get shit done.
Yes, the ritual is kind of hard to do considering its implications. It's basically kind of you have to make a large circle with a lot of materials and magical power in the center, like here, for example, where the Senate was, I believe, around the entire circumference of the center. And it has to be done all at the same time. That's the key issue, the time part.
I see. Ren would speak up at this point. That is sort of an issue. We wouldn't mind helping you with this. Of course, I mean... things are... well... things aren't stable. I don't know if you've noticed, but the changes are getting larger. But I don't think we of the Enclave are likely strong enough to do much more than assist. I think in order to set this sort of thing back in around or however, you'd have to find several quite impressive casters.
We were looking for Bone Daddy.
Pardon?
A Voth.
I can't say I've heard the name, but
They're somewhere with the other red folks still. We get distorted sending some of them now and then.
I see. So they're somewhere here on this side. Do you know where?
Last big thing remember is them shouting about some door somewhere. And then that distortion increased like tenfold.
That doesn't help much.
Is there some place where time is especially chaotic and or just...
Well, not to sound pedantic, but take your pick. You can point in a direction and time is particularly chaotic there. But we don't know too much about our surroundings past the Tangle, and, well, it sounds like the Tangle is somewhat off limits. We do know that there is some sort of trollish settlement, likely in the Blasted Lands, but past that, well, unfortunately, I'm just not sure.
I mean, I could always... I just want to randomly scry, what was his name? Chol? Chol.
Joel?
Yeah. Hey guys, where you at?
So you attempt to try scry,
No,
Joel.
I'm sorry, I meant send.
Oh, okay. Just, hey, where are you guys at?
Yes.
Okay. You would not get anything back immediately. You do kind of know that some of that's due to interference from where you are specifically. You know, your time is very different than anyone else's time. But you do manage to send the spell. So the spell's out there somewhere or somewhen.
Someone.
Well, it seems we could try and find the ogres or trolls or whatever those things are. I don't know, take over their village. We could work with them, or we could launch an expedition to the Tangle, just a big one, and try and deal with whatever's going on there. Or we could head north.
Heading directly north, as we mentioned before, is a bad idea. There's things there that interfere with what we can do. This would be Uvaf, the cleric speaking. It's not, unfortunately, as simple as just heading north. It would be like trying to maintain the spell in the middle of a thunderstorm while holding a copper rod.
So only dangerous if you get attacked?
No. It'd be incredibly difficult to maintain the concentration at the best of times, is what I'm trying to say.
Have you thought about putting the copper rod down?
Well, it turns out we would be the copper rod.
Don't know. Actually, we're back in a second, just...
So what about if all of us, all of the groups got together, and we all went to the Tangle to go deal with the mess that's going on there.
That might work. This would be Orstad and Farron sort of in conjunction. The way I see it, there's these two options. There's in the safe lands somewhere the trolls are living. The trolls don't move too far south. They don't move into the Tangle as far as we can see, which means that there's something to the north that they're using to survive. We could try going past the trolls or through the trolls, working with the trolls as you mentioned, or again sort of working against the trolls. The other option that we can see plainly is heading through the Tangle and dealing with whatever the Tangle has to offer, and then moving north that way. Wherever it is we're going, well, north is mostly the only way to go. Sorry, I punched the mic.
You punched the mic?
I did. Did you not hear anything?
No, I did. I thought it was funny.
I was just really angry and wanted to emphasize everything.
And I do it again. Bow, bow, bow.
Grum's just casually correcting the behavior of his mic.
Punching seems a bit more than casually.
You've never seen New Zealand on a Saturday morning.
Oh no.
But I mean, as for what we are to do, I mean, I have no main issues or concerns with what we do.
We, as a whole, somewhat discussed it, and most of the people have come to the consensus that the jig is up. We had a good thing. We had a good sort of, while coming and enjoying the effects of not aging, but the writing's on the wall. Things are getting worse. Things are now harder. I believe most of the population is going to be heading across the Shimmer, back into the old city.
And the
Well,
rest?
good for them. It's been like probably 2 minutes there.
And the ones who don't go across the Shimmer?
Well, we're torn, mainly between us. I think our plan is attempt to wander, and as we've mentioned before, north is the only real way. The Tangle seems off limits to us. There's no way you can scavenge for food if eating the food would instantly kill you or turn you into some undead abomination. No offense.
Yeah, I was gonna say looks at Adrian.
What? Well, Guts is fine.
Yep.
It's even funnier that everyone has all these underhanded comments about how Adrian's undead now and Guts has been there like, man, I've got a sack grog in me this whole time.
So we don't want to go there.
Nails in my fucking eyes.
Yeah. But we'll sort of be continuing in wandering. taking things slowly and trying to figure things out a day's travel at a time. The city here is still a fairly large place, but we're decently confident we can take care of ourselves. Famous last words. But again, what are you doing? We know your plans now, and well, while some of us do not agree, we can see that your intentions are likely, or hopefully, more noble than not.
Oh. Well, someone seemed to know our intentions when we got here. Are there places where time works in the reverse?
Was that a question?
Yeah. Are there places where time is in reverse?
We haven't experienced anything like that. Ren would say it's certainly possible.
Because when we came here, someone knew us and said we do great things, apparently.
I think it's just the general consensus that we're pretty great.
Until you get to know.
Yeah, but we don't talk about that.
Again, it's certainly possible, but we haven't heard or explored of anything like that. Not that there's much in the way of rumors traveling around.
Just been talking during this?
What's that? That last one was Ren.
Go at me over wanting to fix all this, right? Was it Farron I was having the talk with, and she got
Yes.
all pissy because I said I wanted.
Farron wants things to sort of stay they are.
Being the main one saying all this stuff. Probably.
No, that was Farron and Orstad saying what the two options you could go were. Like, all about the time and stuff was Ren speaking. Most of it has been Kegno talking, though.
Yeah. But no, as I was saying, as long as it wasn't really Farron talking, I'd say that, I mean, personally, I think we should go with the ones that are planning on being nomads. They're going to be, by the sounds of it, sticking around this area and exploring the Outlands. It'd probably be a good lead to finding either the Sovereign, me, or Voth. Was it you said, Adrian? Chap.
Adrian.
Hello.
I was just saying that we probably have a better. I was more asking you if it was Voth. It was just a offhanded remark.
That's
No,
Voth
it
is
was.
what?
Yeah, I know it was Voth. That was who you brought up and everything. It was just in character. I was saying that because Zydron doesn't actually know Voth. Didn't meet him.
Should have met him the one time, I think. You were with us. Howard was there.
I think Zydroin was flying around elsewhere when you met with the
Yeah.
red folk and stuff.
I
Oh,
was gonna say, I was pretty sure I was doing something else in that situation.
well, basically, giant kind of looking dude, skeleton inside a preservation chamber thing on a freaking geared up brass clockwork construct.
Yeah, that thing.
Bone Daddy.
We probably have more of a chance finding him or the crystals if we stay with the nomads or future nomads.
Probably. The second help us not age wildly, which is not only a problem for the three of you.
May not be a problem for me if I if the speed up of time includes speed up of leveling. I'll faster reach that timeless body.
I don't know, that's still like what, 1 year every 10 years?
10 or 20. What does the rest of the party think? Rick? Guts? Tadpole?
Yes.
What are your thoughts on what we should do next? Also, just saying, that would be one of the first times in character I've ever called Tadpole Tadpole.
Tadpole.
As Zydron.
I think we should just burn the whole place down and force everybody else to go with us.
Are you trying to... Can't tell if you're making fun of what we did when we met you or not.
You make so little sense sometimes, Tadpole. On one hand, you're always like, you know what, let's free the slaves. On the other hand, you're always like, you know what, let's make them homeless.
I am consistently inconsistent.
That's it. I'd probably agree with the
Tadpole.
Zydron there. Wandering does seem like a good idea. At least we'll be able to make tracks and see what's around.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna get some more coffee.
Mm-hmm.
So did you all hear about the GameStop thing?
GameStop thing? No, we don't have that in New Zealand.
Basically, I read it, some other people with money are kind of just infinitely short stocking it, so the price skyrocketed, and I guess they in the process basically defunded a hedge fund.
And we do have GameStop in New Zealand. We just call it EB Games.
Yeah, same thing.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was like the same company or just like same shop, different name and stuff.
But I'm just saying, the stock was like $10 a few months ago. Now it's like 200.
What?
Bet the day traders are loving that.
How did they do that?
Because,
'Cause
like,
the last thing-
like Adrian said, they stopped buying things from there to ramp up the prices and everything. Or was it that they were buying everything?
Alright.
They were short stocking it, so they were, just playing the game, whatever the heck you call it.
You only have,
That's ridiculous, because, like, basically the last thing I heard of them was...
You do have class tomorrow, right?
It's independent
That's some
work
genius
standards
marketing
class
techniques.
Friday.
That's
And tomorrow-
I guess whatever the hedge fund might have been trying to fuck with GameStop anyways, I don't know.
Hey, some more.
Alright, I'm back.
Hello, sir.
What did we talk about?
Not a lot. Hmm.
We are interesting people, yes.
Something about the
Okay.
GameStop stock thing.
And very talkative. Don't forget, we're all very talkative.
Okay.
Well, I say let's go off with the guys that are leaving.
Not gonna lie, I kind of want to do that too.
Yeah, that's be my suggestion. And if we want to burn the place
Look.
down, it would be great. If not, no biggie.
Do you mean back onto the other side of the city?
No, to the north.
I believe they mean
Uh,
the quote-unquote wanderers now.
Yeah.
It does seem like a good plan.
So Bramble would
Yeah.
speak up at some point as we're sort of doing the plans. What I think will happen is that some of us will stay here, or at least somewhat outside. The rest of my people will be setting up some sort of outpost, but, well, we need things to grow a bit better. So we'll be setting up something in the orphanage, and hopefully we can set up something, well, not the same as what the Tangle was, but something different and something that we can survive in. A circle, a grove of some sort.
If we can wait around a couple of days, I could probably help them with that as well. That's just out of character.
Right. And that would probably have been something that you would have, spoken to them about.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be no secret.
Both as druid and seems friend to the tree people
Right.
or bramble folk. I'd be willing and able to help them.
Hmm.
But that requires the rest of the party wanting to wait around for a couple of days.
Well, I think it's going to take a couple of days for the NPCs to sort of put things in order and whatnot, regardless.
Yeah, and I think it's probably good for us to get some supplies, foodstuffs, and things like that.
Hmm. Kegno again would sort of speak up. As well, I suppose that settles it then. I guess the only thing left to do, excuse me, is find out who actually wants to continue this existence and who wants to go on amongst the townspeople, of course. And then set the people who no longer wish to be here on their way. I imagine there still will be some people staying here. If the Bramble folk are staying and doing something, well, some people will want something from it. But I imagine there will be some who wish to continue and wander on.
Well, that sounds like decisions that people need to make on a them-by-them basis. We can't and shouldn't make their minds for them.
Indeed. And then continuing from there, I think, well, Farron has used her expertise and sort of ruled out the tangle. Of course, we haven't seen how bad it is, but from the accounts we've heard are pretty bad, so I guess that leaves us heading through the safe lands through the where the trolls are.
Oh, at least the trolls are easily killable. Well, maybe not easily, but fully killable.
If you say so. Is there anything else that you would like to add to this, or?
Not off the top of my head.
Oh my gosh, my Discord is so loud right now.
Hey, while we're all here, remember that day we first came here?
What about it? A lot has happened since then. You need to be a bit
No,
more
remember
exact.
that woman?
The one that got age blasted?
Yeah, what did she do?
What did she do? Is that what you asked? Or what is
Yep.
she doing?
What did she do? Also, where is she?
I'm gonna shoot him a quick little glance to remind him that we weren't exactly meant to be talking about her.
I know.
Well, I don't think anyone's seen her in quite some time. We don't necessarily keep tabs on anyone. But she stole something. This would be Orsted speaking up at this point. Sort of a... Well, she stole something.
Right.
Huh? Like, I heard you said
Find out on
something,
the
but
day,
you...
didn't
Oh,
we?
I
Wasn't
said
it a
quite.
ring or something?
Sorry, what was that?
Out on that day, like... Oh, okay.
Sorry, what?
What?
Yes, I was talking to you guys. Like, coming in and coming out a little bit.
Yeah, it's happening for me too.
Every time I've been like, what? It's done it again.
Yep, Discord's just not playing ball today. I mean, I just said, didn't we figure out that she had stolen something and that it was a ring, if anything? Or am I picturing that?
No, I believe
Just-
you're picturing that.
just-
Yeah.
Just out of character, she stole that map and,
Oh, yeah.
and gave it to us.
That's right. it was a map.
Is that something we should bring up? Because
Well, that's why I brought it up to them. They haven't mentioned what she stole.
Probably not. If it got her fucking age blasted, we probably shouldn't turn around and be like, so yeah, we got the thing that she stole off you guys and we're not giving it to you. Because you know we're not going to give it to them.
Well, that's why I just asked them, hey, what did she steal? And they didn't tell us, even though the
I didn't hear a word you said. It was the thing. That's why I kept on saying what.
Well, I was just asking what she stole.
They would not have told you what she stole, though.
Yeah.
They would have just said something along the lines of an item of particular importance to us, especially now.
that's sort of what I was thinking. Is it could that could be really useful if we were just open with it and could actually use it. Am I cutting out now?
No,
Yes and no.
I can hear what you're saying. You're cutting out at like the tiny little beginning and little end, like you're releasing the button too soon, but that's it. But not in the middle.
I personally think it would be a good time right about now.
Yeah, what would be a good time right about now?
Because I'm just not sure how to say it to the party without saying it in front of everyone. Because it's
I would have cared if that's how you say it.
Yeah, then say it out of character, and if it's something that we shouldn't talk about in character, then we can come back to it once we're not in a room full of people who may not like what we have to say about it. But yeah, if you just want to say something to the party that you don't want to have to say in character, just tell us out of character. I don't think any of us are going to be like, oh, nah, I take that as in character for the meta knowledge.
You know, I was just going to say out of character that, well, the map would come in hella useful. We could use it, and since we're going to have to wander around and shit, it would be really useful.
Yes, it would.
But we'd have to tell them about it.
We wouldn't. We just keep it out of sight of them, and when they ask how we know the stuff, we've got 2 different spellcasters who have different varying forms of scrying spells. We've got ways to find out information that we quote-unquote shouldn't know.
And we can always intimidate them.
Yeah.
If you know it's good for you, don't ask.
We just make sure we get them to the point where they rely on us as much as we rely on the clerics for their time magic.
Okay,
Which
so let me ask you this. Why do we need the clerics?
Time magic?
Yeah, but why does it matter to us? We're not dying any faster. We're still living for us, time moves along normally.
Just skip into a time any 10 feet for the party who aged 50 years.
Yeah, like
Oh, I see. So if we leave the rest of the party,
yeah, like we don't know how to react or synergize in situations like that. We don't even know, like, you know,
okay.
it could be the factor of a space of 5 feet between people is the difference in time dilation.
Got- All right.
What do you think,
So it's
Adrian?
more of
I
just
just look at you
I-
and say,
I
I've been
hate
waiting
it.
10 years.
I hate it when you guys make sense. It really
I
is.
know, right?
I know.
Imagine putting logic to a situation. God damn it!
Damn you!
But no, I reckon we look at our map that we got off What's Her Name once we're away from these guys, and then we go out with the nomadic people and try and find some way to do something. Whether it's fix this or throw things into even more chaos.
Oof.
I just love how Grim's like, please don't.
No, I mean, I'm fine with it, but oof.
Are we in general agreement with that?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that is a plan for you all. As I mentioned before, it still is, you know, from a logistical standpoint, going to be taking the NPCs a couple of days to do it. And again, there's one more decision, the things that they have suggested very strongly, but, you know, you guys are the agents of change in the world, so the final decision is up to you, is going through and either contacting or or overpowering the trolls and then heading north through there. The other option is going through the Tangle and dealing with sort of that situation, which is admittedly somewhat unknown.
My personal vote is for the trolls, because I know we can kill the trolls. Those elder trees were just fucking annoying. They hurt a lot and don't take a lot of damage easily. So it'll be a lesser of two evils kind of thing, and we've proven we can more or less wreck troll face. But if anyone has reasons to go back to the Tangle, anyone? Doesn't sound like it.
We left the walls there.
I'm sure the walls will be flourishing just fine and will be part of the BBEG for us.
What? No. That's silly.
Think
Fight
for the
alternate future
final
selves who are
boss.
evil.
You're being
The
silly.
Woolies.
Yeah, so does anyone oppose to the trolls? You know, regardless as to what you're doing, whether you're going to try to reason with them or whatever, but does anyone oppose to dealing with the trolls?
That sounds good.
Okay. Then that'll be the plan for them. And they'll try to sort
I am a
of...
slave.
Hmm?
Oh, I just realized Rick comment. About how I have a Mike Tyson face tattoo.
Okay, so it'll still probably be several days before people get things sort of together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull people onto the map so we sort of see how many people it is we're dealing with. And honestly, it's not too many more quote unquote important people. How would definitely not be coming.
So I think we should go to this.
To what?
To the area 4 on the map, smooth like a baby's butt.
Smooth like a baby's butt. You would likely have to get through the tangle to do that.
Forgot that we actually had a handout for it. Where was it?
That is the glass.
Is it under handouts?
I'm no longer entirely sure where it is. To be
There's
honest
only
with you.
one map under handouts.
I'm not.
It's right before the trolls and all the artifacts we got.
Ah.
Right next to Bramble, actually.
Cannot find it. Keybook.
Why is she so small?
Oh, there it is.
What's this thing on the right side say? Past the smooth zone. It's going like up. It's like looks like it's been backwards.
Hold on one moment. I think I also have it pinned on Discord, and it may be a little bit bigger. Because I remember having some issues with it. Okay, so I'm going to actually pull people out of here and onto what is a mostly clean map. Sort of. Because it's a little visually cluttered. Which is a very familiar map.
Ah, the rock.
Oops, Guts is here twice.
Guys, we must
Vietnam
not dig
flashbacks.
the rock, for we know the truth that Voth is inside this rock.
But about
And the key to the castle.
16 or so people are willing to come with you. They can do sort of like day labory things. We can, sort of play it by ear when things come. There is, excuse me, at least one or two other people as well.
I was gonna say there's some people missing because Heart's not there.
He's
Yeah.
ready to be immortal.
Breach.
Yeah, I don't have all of our NPCs.
Don't forget the red folk.
Are they
Not
not
sure if they're
there?
there.
I thought they were there.
I'm just
The red
saying.
folk are there.
Okay. There's Reg. We have Heart somewhere. I mean, Heart's got a token I can pull shortly. Heart.
Did all of the NPCs come to the side of the tangle? Oh, the side of the wall? The time thing?
No. Hal, the merchant, and Farron are not coming across. And unless we are, attempting to persuade Farron. I don't know how much we like Farron or not.
I
But,
personally don't.
But does that mean you want her to come so you can dislike her, or?
I mean, Chaff is always good to have.
Did she look like she had some good loot on her?
Yeah. What's her items look like? Does she look worth?
What's our bag looking like, guys?
I mean, she did look like she could hold herself in a fight.
No, I'm happy to let her go. I think this is going to be enough people to run around after.
Okay.
Oh, is Bramble actually going to come with us?
Bramble is coming with you after she sets up.
I like to think at some point I replenished my skeletons.
Right. Well, I mean, you replenished them for the fight, so.
Did you say Lurk was coming?
Yes.
Okay.
We all have our waifus.
So that is like
God.
35 people or so. Party strong, quote unquote. Not exactly party, but you know what I mean. Not including the NPCs? No. It is including some of the NPCs.
I love how Grim's like tried making them all nice and uniform, and we're all like, "Nah, fuck that shit, yo."
Yeah! Yeah, it wasn't lost on me. You know
I'm
what? I
also gonna-
do believe Farron would come.
Also, really tempted to just start wearing Reg like a backpack now.
For no reason than other than you probably need somebody with survival.
What's that? We probably need someone to sacrifice.
Yes.
That's what all those unnamed NPCs are. Rich's one.
So there are some logistics behind it as well. You know, there's food, there's water, there's shelter. People can sort of come with it. You know, there are 2 mages with you who can, with a little bit of time, if Adrian's willing, Learn can create food and water, which, you know, I can't imagine he wouldn't be willing. Because I wouldn't think he wants to cast it for that many people a day.
Because I've got
Here's, like,
those spells too.
Hmm?
Where's Zoosh?
She's here.
Cheers there.
I have to go
Because
to
I've
Zoosh.
got
I can create water.
spells.
Break blood from people is not water.
I just don't know whether.
I'm gonna pull out the bucket.
Oh yeah.
The bucket
we have
that can
gold
magically
ones.
make water.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean I can make water.
Also, you can make soup.
Like, it's the same spell, but is it when it's via like a druid versus a wizard casting it? Like, would I be able to teach them, seeing as it is the same spells? But obviously, our magic works different. That's what I was thinking.
It works
Maybe
different
would
enough
be
that you couldn't just cross teach them,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
so I'd need Adrian to help
Yeah.
with that as well. Yeah.
I wanna wave over Zoosh, even if she hates me still.
I mean, she'd at least see what you have to say. It's no secret that she does not think you are you any longer. That doesn't mean she hates you. She just doesn't think you're Adrian.
I want to give her my Ion Stone of whatever the fuck it's called, sustenance.
Sustenance, I believe. She'd sort of take it. Not exactly grudgingly, but... Unused spell.
That was a mistake.
That's what happens when a barbarian tries using magic.
Like, I have no idea what you're doing. Yes.
I just accidentally clicked it. I wasn't doing anything.
Let me just edit this in. She would thank you for it and accept it. She wouldn't fawn over it or anything like that, you know. Whether she thinks you have some sort of ulterior motive or not, you know, it's kind of hard to tell, but something about it doesn't quite sit right with her. But either way, she would accept it.
I'll pat her head then.
She would not accept you patting her head. She would, you know, block your arm, dodge away from you. Don't. Okay. So I think we're gonna go ahead and close, come to an end with that a little bit. You know, there may be a little bit more planning and stuff that we can sort of do in the meantime. But to be honest, I think it's somewhat less relevant. You know, we've got food, we've got water covered, you know, we can do things like shelter and whatnot. So we can hit those things sort of already, and I don't think we need to make, like...
As we need them.
Yeah. The hugest deal of them. Again, why would you all, like, spread out so much? I'm trying to make things real easy so I can, like, copy paste them. Again, as needed. But it's going to be a couple of days, sort of before townspeople, you know, continue sort of filling in towards the quote-unquote old city, while we're still getting things like tents and things available, while we're still sort of salvaging for materials a little bit. As it turns out, a fair contingent of people are planning on staying there in the city without actually doing anything. They're sort of coming to the idea, the hopes, the conclusion that the Bramble folk, you know, not being far away, will be enough for them to sort of survive and make do on their own.
Can't wait till they're fertilizer for the trees.
Who knows? Tadpole.
Yes.
So it is that sort of night of that day when Lurk said he wanted to meet with you somewhere outside towards, you know, the orphanage. Are you planning on going to that sort of meeting, or are you having...
Absolutely.
Okay. What I will do is I will pop a silver. I will delete some tokens. Ooh, I moved the entire map, apparently. Are you trying to stealth away from the rest of your companions? Are you letting them know where you're going? How is that working out?
I'm going to let Guts know where I'm going, that I'm meeting someone. Matter of fact, I'm going to let Guts know everything and asking her to keep it on the down low. I want somebody to know where I'm going, just in case.
Just in case something does not go well.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, knock on wood, that it doesn't happen.
Yeah. But keep it on the down low.
Alright, I will. I'll keep, you know me. And then I'll make the motion of, you know, zipping my lips.
Yeah. Cross my heart, right?
Yes. Over the heart. A little cross over the heart.
Over that cavern where your heart would normally be.
Where the pulsing sac is.
Yes.
Doesn't that mean you're swearing on Jenny and Soul?
Yep.
The next thing is, would you try to sneak out yourself, or would you just, you know, go out making sure you're seen going out by other people?
No, I'm actually going to try to make sure I'm not seen going out by other people.
Okay. Could you go ahead and hit me
I'm
up?
going to try to sneak, but it kind of like wander off looking for firewood or something like that. But I'm going to wait till the least amount of people see me to do it. If that makes any sense.
Say that again?
Okay, so I'm not going to try to act like I'm sneaking off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to wait till the least amount of people are looking. Then I'm going to go off like I'm looking for firewood or something like that. So I'm not trying to actively try to sneak off, hiding in bushes, things like that. Maybe I'll actually pick up a couple sticks and hold them in my hand and keep walking out, picking up more sticks and go walk out further and further.
Tadpole actually doing work? That's suspicious. I want to follow her.
Go ahead and do a sneak check then.
A stealth or a
Yeah, stealth. I'm
performance.
sorry. No.
That's it.
It really, like, gosh, if you're like not stealthing, you're just sort of wandering off, it would be more of a performance, I believe.
Yeah, I'm much better at stealth, but I think performance is more accurate. And
Whoa, not that it matters.
that's right, I've collected a lot of wood for cooking fires in my day. I'm just doing that again.
Yeah, whatever your reason for wandering it off, it's perfectly natural. No one suspects of things. Whether you're answering a call of nature or doing something like that, but, nobody is questioning you heading off on your own for a little bit.
A little bit of my me time.
Exactly. For whatever reason. I just closed his sheet. Hold on. Can you roll me a perception check, please? All right.
Okay.
So you're sort of into your thing and you're doing it, and at some point, you feel a hand on the back of your shoulder. You turn around and it's Lurk. He puts a finger to his mouth and goes, "Easy. Hey,
Stopped my heart there.
we don't need to attract too much attention to this one." One moment, I'm sorry.
We're learning about soil now.
Yeah.
That's my gerbil.
It's a gerbil.
It's a
I like
gerbil.
it. Looks like a gerbil.
Tail.
Alright, looks good. Okay. Love you too. Sorry, daughter-related issues.
Trust me, Grim, those will never stop.
I just hope they don't get
Even
worse.
even when they're adults, the daughter issues will never stop.
That's what I'm worried about. So again, you're sort of preoccupied with your performance and whatnot, and you do not notice Lurk sort of sneaking up, not too well exactly, behind you. But you certainly didn't notice it. He puts a hand on your shoulder and certainly startles the ever-loving out of you. And then he hushes for you to be quiet real quick. You need to not be quite so excitable sometimes.
Yeah, okay. Good advice, kinda.
Okay. So Lurk sort of implied earlier that he has things to teach you, and it's good, these turns of events, because now we can work a little bit more on things. You have some sort of training, right? Like I've seen the way you move when you're doing things. It's beyond the ordinary.
Yeah, I have skills.
And you use said skills to pay the bills.
Skills to pay the bills. Absolutely.
There's things I can show you, things of sort of a mystical nature, if you're interested.
Always interested. But what do you ask in return?
I want to teach you.
Okay. What's the catch?
Well, Lurk's not going to be around forever.
Well, none of us will be.
Exactly. And these things are too much to be let go. I don't expect you to be, well, good at them without a lot. But I can help you. I can show you the basics, and hopefully you can sort of learn from there.
That would be great. I just find that most people don't do things out of the goodness of their heart. Usually there's a price tag attached in some form or another.
Well, let's just say that at some point in the future, Lurk might need something done. Something that your skills are more suited to than Lurk's skills. Lurk is a talker.
I understand. That I can live with. That I can accept. Doing it out of the goodness of your heart, yeah, it makes me a little less stressful. But yeah, favor for favor, that I can understand.
Lurk might not call upon this favor, though. This is something Lurk wants you to learn, and at some point, if you master it, Lurk wants you to pass it down to someone else.
Sure, absolutely.
Can you promise Lurk?
If I live long enough to have offspring, sure.
Is that truthful?
Sure, if I have offspring.
Well, not just offspring. You aren't Lurk's child.
I understand. If I
Paul's
find
little heart breaks. She thought she'd found a dad.
if I find the right person, I will do this. Yes. But you chose. You apparently. My guess is, you're not offering it to me out of just random. You thought I was the right person for this skill. If I find what I think is the right person for the skill, I will do the same.
That's fine. And it doesn't matter what the person's going to use it for. It's that somebody has the potential to learn it. You could be, the next tyrant of the world for all Lurk cares. That's your choice to do with.
I like the way you think.
Okay, so Lurks. The thing I'm going to teach you comes from inside yourself. And Lurk had you sing, and you're not good at it. But it doesn't matter, because that's a thing that comes from practice. But voice is a source of power in its own. It's one that's been sort of dead for a long time. But it's still there. There's power in words, in not just a magical, arcane power. It's spent by studying books and tomes and poring over things, and not just an internal power from being happen to have being born in the right place in the right time, but there's power in words themselves, in languages, in figuring out the right way to say things, in the names of things, in the places of things. And when I say names, not just a tree or a rock, but the tree's name in the rock's name. And if you can learn these names, you can do things with them. And you can learn your own name. And you can help yourself with it.
Okay. But my name's Tadpole.
That's what you call yourself, but that's not your name. There's so much more to your name than Tadpole. What you call yourself is Tadpole, but you have a name somewhere.
Okay.
Again, you'll have to sort of learn and figure things out, but maybe sort of a demonstration of some of the more flashy things that we can do. Find something for a Lurk, a tree or something.
Okay, I point to a rock on the ground.
Oh, all right. I sort of watch the rock very carefully, and he sort of starts very lowly, and you can tell that this is coming from the goblin, the person behind the puppet, whereas most of our conversation sort of came from the puppet. It was, ventriloquism, all sorts of that. This one is definitely coming from the goblin behind the puppet. And it's a low sort of chanting and humming and sort of building up, and he says a word. And for lack of better mechanics, what we're going to do is we're going to roll the dice and do the attack. Sort of a pressure comes from Lurk and blasts into the tree. Unless he rolls like a 1.
Oh.
And so from the words that he's speaking, the tree gets pretty well smashed. It's not a huge explosion or anything like that, but it's a very concentrated, small. All of a sudden, there's this force that's gone into the tree, and there's sort of a hole boring through the tree. This was one of the flashier things that it can do, but it can do other things. It can keep you safe. It can keep you healthy. It can keep you the way you need to be true to your name. But it's a lot of teaching.
Well, I am your student. I'm actually suitably impressed. Because it does not look like it's arcane, right?
It does not look like it is arcane.
Okay, see, I've seen plenty of arcane. This impresses me.
Yeah, this happens through what other people do. This is no spell that can be canceled. This is magic before there was magic. This is the raw fundamentals of what makes a thing a thing. But you have to learn, and you have to get somewhat better in what you're doing.
Okay.
Lurk is going to be training you in performance.
Woohoo! Because my charisma is a -1.
Mm-hmm. And we're certainly going to be working with that. This is a thing that you get to choose to sort of do in your downtime now, is work with Lurk. He's not going to be so much as pressuring you to do it, as you're going to have to be seeking him out for this sort of training and whatnot.
Sure. Okay.
But, you wind up having sort of a deep conversation about things throughout the night. I guess this is, again, sort of throughout this week and whatnot, because it's all sort of hand-waved, because it's downtime activities. So you're going to get a +1 to performance for oratory, which is making a speech of some sort, a soliloquy, something like that.
Okay. You want me to do that on my character sheet now, or
You can
later
do it
when I
now,
run this?
and however you wish to do it, because I understand that these sheets aren't the best for doing a specific thing like that.
Oh yeah, it does on the little cogwheel. You can do it.
Does it? Maybe,
Yep.
Yeah, you did it and forgot about it.
Done.
Oh, fair enough. Okay. And so you sort of work throughout the night with that. As it becomes daytime, I would like for you to roll a perception check as well. In one moment. Oh my god. I am hiding this one.
So would that also deal with persuasion or just performance?
Just
'Cause you said
performance at the moment.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You notice that when you are coming in, or coming back in, sort of to the town, that Zoosh is coming back in to the town as well.
Okay. I'll make sure I have a few sticks in my hand, by the way.
Sure. I mean, this took, quite a long time. It was not a very brief thing. But again, nobody sort of questioned why you were gone.
That's right.
All right. We're going to jump back over here. Is there any sort of last minute things that we would like to do?
Not really. I think we're good to go.
For me,
Okay. Then we are assembling our sort of rather large party.
Hey, can I pull out my water elemental? Is it totally healed up? Because it got really battered, but that was quite a while ago.
Yes, it would have been, again, sort of quite a while ago.
Okay.
I'm going to put sort of the... No, I'm not. I changed my mind almost immediately. Could somebody put their token right on the center? On the big X at the end of time on the map. And then pick a direction in which we wish to go. As according to the hex map. Oh, and I will be right back in a moment, though, because I'm going to use the restroom.
We need to go 8 o'clock. Because I did that very scientifically. So...
I was just thinking, if
That
we
way.
wanted to go to the ogres, wouldn't we follow the green?
Well, I don't know. Are we wanting to go a specific place? Then, yeah. If not,
Because we
It-
had this
it does not matter to me.
Ogres, right?
it doesn't matter to me either way.
All right. I also did forget one thing. There are 6 displacer beasts with you as well.
hey, for displacer beast.
My other sort of question is, how do we wish to be going out and exploring? We know that we have sort of a mile circumference between the center of the spells, between the three clerics casting, keeping up, this sort of protective dome of anti-time. Are there people who wish to be scouting out ahead of time, ahead of pace, within the 1 mile, or are we sort of going up as a large blob?
I don't mind scouting because I can get back fast if need be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind using a wild shape to scout as dragon form if needed. If we want a top-down view.
I guess sort of the question is, would you want to, like on a daily thing?
I think it'd be wise.
Yeah, I can limit myself to having 1 combat form a day, if nothing else happens.
Well, you get wild shapes back on a short rest, unless your
True.
thing works differently. 1 moment, please.
I just couldn't remember if it was short or long rest.
Okay.
Yeah, when you finish. Yeah, so yeah, I'll definitely. Basically, whenever we want me to use it, I'll happily use it.
Anybody else to be scouting, or pretty much Tadpole and Zydrone? Okay. Sort of the next question is, do we want one of those two to be picking out our path as we're going and relaying information? Do we want to sort of relegate that to someone in the main party?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
The actual sort of path that we're picking out and we're going through. Do we want Zydrone and Tadpole to sort of handle that and relay information back? Or do we want to find the actual, route picking and marching to someone in the main blob?
Well, I think it'd be wisest for Zydrone to, because he can see from a top down the best routes to take and potential choke points and things like that. Whereas me being not only low to the ground but short, I don't have that visibility.
I mean, I kind of think right at this moment we know the general of the ogres. We know the general direction of which to go. So we just head that way, get a bit closer, and then get Zydrone to scout out to try and find out where the ogres actually are.
Trolls, by the way, but yes.
Trolls. Everything I said except ogres are trolls.
Yeah. Unless you're being particularly insulting at them.
You know what? Rick might just be super racist.
Fair enough. Alright. I will pull Zydrone on the map then. You were the Cobra Commander as far as direction goes.
Okay. I'm still on the rock. The clearing.
Am I? Are we not? Yes. We are not. For the most part, at least going through the safe way, which, well, we know sort of runs about like this. It takes us a full day to go 1 hex. And that's going at our normal speed. So we're going about 10 miles normal. Each hex, again, is about 10 miles.
Well, I reckon we would just follow the path at least for 1 or 2 and then start cutting off. Because what was the red again?
The red is sort of what they've called the no man's land. You know, it is very tough for them to sort of keep their spell up at that point. That's where they were analogous to keeping the concentration during the lightning storm when they're a rod.
Well, yeah, I'd probably try and skirt around that much at least. Probably like second or third hex go up to North 1.
Okay.
But I don't know whether you want to handle it like day by day, one hex at a time with encounters on each hex.
I think it is easier. I would rather handle it day by day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I guess first we would go there then.
Okay. So what it'll involve, similar to the other one, is a survival check. From you, you're pretty much at advantage, though. And unless, things go particularly terrible, you'll be more or less fine.
I don't think I got us lost in the jungle on our first day.
You did not. Not even much of a jungle. Sort of the second question is, we have a lot of people with us. How do we want to break up watches? Do we want everyone, including ordinary citizens, taking watches? Or do we want it sort of like to be named people?
Well, what are the common everyday men doing, like, on the day-to-day? Are they doing general work?
There's not a ton of general work to be done. Where there would be general work, preparing food, maintaining equipment and things like that. I mean, mundane equipment. Sort of attempting to forage food. They would be more or less handling that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, if they're handling that, I reckon us named characters can worry about security more, so they can worry about the, like, as you said, mundane jobs.
Since Sam just got out of school,
I don't mind having more eyes keeping an eye out. Instead of having 1 or 2 people on watch, I wouldn't mind having 3 or 4 at a time on watch. You can just see more.
Yeah. I reckon if the civilians are to do watches, they definitely need 4 to a watch at least.
Yeah, they're in support of the watch.
Yeah.
They're just an extra set of eyes, just in case. But I don't want them to be the watch.
Yeah, no.
So you would want them sort of up and about helping at the very least?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'll just sort of... named NPCs, I assume you would want watching as well?
Yep.
Daddy, can I go outside to ride Stu?
One
the better.
No, you cannot just yet, because you need to clean your workspace.
Oh, yeah. And I forgot that they also have church on Wednesdays.
Yeah. Alright, I'm back. So the 3 clerics, unless you super insist, are mostly exempt from things because they will be rotating their stuff.
They can focus. They can focus on their time shit.
But past that, they sort of divide themselves. Excuse me. There's only supposed to be 4 watches. Like that. And if you would, whereas you want to take a watch, go ahead and move yourselves next to sort of the line. If you have control of it, and if you don't have control of it, I'll just sort of do it myself.
Figured I should go with the waifu.
Of course.
Definitely ain't going with Farron.
Hey, Rick, swap places with me. I want to be with Lurk Lurk. Thank you.
He said swap places, not RKO him.
He just runs up and body slams.
And Adrian, any preference?
Nope.
I think Adrian can be a watch by himself with his skeletons.
I am the
But
watch.
all of us have an army of people, and then he's got his army of undead people.
All right. Well, I will sort of make some rolls on my own, but I would like a perception roll, starting with Cydroan, then Rick, then Tadpole, and then Guts.
Well, me.
You're kind of in on.
You said perception?
Yes.
Wow, Rick. Well done.
Why is everyone rolling crit fails on there?
Something in a
secondary
one,
roll?
yeah. That's pretty rough.
And then there's me, who's just like straight 20s.
But either way, like, nothing hostile happens. There is more activity here in sort of the safe lands than the last time we came through. The last time we came through, things were pretty much barren. But you could tell that things have been leaving sort of the forest, excuse me, and have been just traveling as far as they can from that area, because you're seeing things that you know are from that. You know, some of the bee nabber birds that we've seen before, that sort of caused a little bit of a stank for us. Some of the mossy dogs that we've seen before. Some of the more ambulatory things that we have seen. They're sort of out and about in this area, where before they were most certainly not out. Back to the map.
Do we want to go east another, or start heading northeast now? Now that we can skirt around the red.
I'd probably say head a little bit more east at least.
The place where we encountered the trolls before was over in this hex right here. This is where they ambushed us. They started sort of following us at this point, however.
So east or north? I only heard something from Fraser, and that wasn't really legible.
Oof.
Eh.
We'll go
If
east
you
one
didn't
more
hear
time.
me, I said east.
Yeah, we'll go east one more time then.
Don't we have to go through the...
Can I work out with Zydronin, or maybe we should work out with Zydronin, a few things that would, because he can't come down and talk to us if he needs to, like, you know, take cover or stop or something like that. You know, some movements he can do in the air that we can see that tell us to stop or take cover,
Sure.
or dangers approaching or something like that. So if we can set some very basic, you know, like flutter your wings this side. I don't, you know what I'm talking about.
If you see me all of a sudden stop all forward movement, drop 10 feet, and then start flying again, it means that there might be something up ahead. If you see me straight dive bomb down on something and breath weapon, it means prepare.
If you take off flying away as fast as you can, run.
No. If
Yeah, so I just want to set up some basic. We don't have to spell them out per se, but
Right.
as characters, we would have spelled them out.
Yes.
Yeah. And I would obviously follow through on any of those things. If it was just civilians, I might let a troll or two through, but since there's party members,
Oof.
if there's any trouble, just give us a signal. Do you remember the signal?
I remember that movie. Zydroin, perception check from you, and then Tadpole, a perception check from you, please. Zydroin, there is a small 3 or so group of trolls that you can see pretty much on the path in between the party and heading further to the east. They don't appear to be searching, they're just sort of there. And they appear to be mostly stationary.
They don't notice me?
They would... What are you flying as?
Silver Dragon. Oh, Silver Dragon Wormling.
They would notice you, but they don't react in any sort of shocked way or anything like that.
How about this then? They will probably still notice me. Yeah, they notice me.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see, whether I was flying like an owl or whether I'm smog flying over the top. But if they don't react directly, then I would probably take a longer way back so it's not obvious that I'm beelining back to a group or something. But I'd circle back around and land and tell people.
All right, so what is the plan? There's a small group of trolls sort of in the way of where we were heading.
Do we want it to plan it? We have options.
I mean, I'm happy to kill them or try and talk to them or to ignore them.
We could maybe follow them back to the camp even.
That could also be an idea, although I'm not going to be able to do that sneakily. If we're going to try to follow them, we'd have to do it on foot.
What?
E. What are we doing?
Trying to figure out if we're going to do something with these trolls or not.
Well, it's your call. You're in the air.
I came down to tell you guys about it.
Oh, well, I'd say let's go around them. Unless they're waiting for us, if they're hunting us.
They did not look like they were hunting anything in particular. Actually, they were just standing there, as far as I saw them. They definitely saw me though, but I didn't take a direct path back to you guys, so the chances of them having followed me are low.
Yeah, I say let's avoid conflict unless we can see a potential advantage on our side to do so, like more supplies or, ambushing a notable threat to us anything like that. But if it's something that we can avoid, why take the chance?
Well, I'm happy with that, if everyone else is.
Yep.
Combat for the sake of combat, not the smartest thing. It's kind of fun, but not the smartest thing.
All right, so my question for you is about, how far around them are you going to go? And in what direction are you going to go? Are you still sort of planning on traveling to the east, and we're just taking, a few mile detour around them, or are we sort of entirely changing direction?
Well, I was thinking we'd start heading north from here.
Okay.
Like, were they on the next green square, were they?
Technically, they're on the green square you are on.
Oh, well, yeah, we could just start heading north and hopefully try and avoid them entirely.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
as per usual, I'm loath to make decisions for the entire party as often as I tend to. So more input would be welcome, or else that is what we will do.
I mean, in all fairness, you were put in charge as the navigator.
Yeah, I know. Well, in that case, yeah, we'll start heading north and try avoid them in their entirety if it's at all possible.
Okay. So we do end up sort of camping this night in the same hex because, that's the way it works. So can I get the same sort of perception checks from everyone for our night watches?
Am I on the list?
Yes.
Yes, you can be on the list.
Cover guts is really bad roll.
Okay then.
Or not. It's okay.
Fantastic.
I think I know when the trolls find us.
Well, I mean, that's awfully convenient, but it doesn't quite work out that way. But no. During the night, there are some sort of noises. It's sort of a grinding noise. It's
Someone
almost...
fall into the walls.
What?
It's a grinding noise. Did someone fall into the walls?
Not quite, but it's kind of like if there was some sort of grinder or something, and you can use your imagination on this one, and rocks were thrown into it. It's a grinding, it's a breaking, it's a crushing. Whatever the grinding is, it is capable of destroying this rock, presumably, as is, that's mostly what's around us. But it's pretty loud.
Would anyone in our giant massive group have like quills and papers and stuff like that? Cartography gear?
Yes. Certainly Orstat would be sort of writing down where we're going, if Farron would be, and, if we're just looking for quills and pens and papers, Ren would have something like that on him.
Because I haven't filled that out yet. I was going to do cartography for it, so we can start mapping the area.
Mm-hmm.
And in which case I would basically just imitate or emulate Orstat
Yeah. And, you know, he'd be taking a little bit of time to teach you and whatnot, you know.
Yeah.
This is how you orient a map, yada yada. Under normal circumstances, this is how you do this here.
So, whenever I need cartographers in the future, you guys see the spitting image of Orstat, split face and all. Which I'll probably spend like an hour each day after we've set up camp and everything, updating whatever maps we have and everything, just in case we need to find our way back.
Okay. As for this grinding noise, that's a question.
Do we investigate? Someone else decide, because or else I'm just going to say yes. Something to do.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. It's about a quarter of a mile or so away from where we made camp. And at some point, we can very easily tell that this grinding is going further away from us, more towards the east. But we come across these sort of furrows that are in the ruins and sort of on the ground. It's very difficult to sort of damage the quote-unquote floor of the shifting city. You know, the rock is sort of magical in nature. Whether you've seen that far down or not, it is. But there are areas where it's very clearly exposed. Give me a nature roll. Really anyone who wishes to, you know, take a stab at taking a guess at what's going on.
The druid with a nature of 3 and no proficiency.
Well, it sort of happens. There's something sort of burrowing these furrows through these ruins, and it's fairly large in size. It's certainly as wide as a man, these furrows are. You couldn't exactly make a guess as to what the creature itself is, but it's a lot like if an earthworm were sort of relegated to only burrowing through the very top bit of soil.
Would it be Buletrax?
Would it be what?
Buletrax?
It's a good guess. It might be similar. Whereas that's something that's more sort of pushed out of the way for the most part. This is definitely something that looks like it's been sort of eaten, digested, and then, you know, come out the other end as a more processed type deal.
Anything else that might tell us? Oh wait, are there like trees and stuff around?
There would not have been a lot of trees or vegetation around to begin with.
Any critters or anything?
There would be some. Again, you know, some of the things that have been fleeing from around. If you spent some time, you could probably hunt one down.
Yeah, if no one's in a major hurry, I will use one of them to help cut down the time a bit more to find them.
Sure.
And then I'm just looking for it.
And you wind up finding some sort of like incredibly emaciated moss dog. The things that we had seen before.
Are you looking for that?
I'm looking. Yes, that's the spell I was looking for. Thank you. I'm sure I have it somewhere. It is not.
I have the ability to use it as well. So
Yeah. Yes, I do have it. I was like, does a druid really not have speak with animals? How does druid not have speak with... No, it is...
Yeah, there's no-
So yeah, and then I'll cast speak with animals as well. So, Pup, what has been going on here?
big worms coming through, eating rock.
Worms, like, do they look a lot like general worms that come from the ground, just bigger, or do they look different in some way?
Look different than worms I've seen. Armored, bigger, mostly ignore everything.
Do they come with the trolls, the big humanoids?
Don't know. Don't think so.
I'll obviously relay this information back, and you look hungry to say the least. Are you injured, or
Just can't get full.
Can't get full? So you have had food though. Like, you're not having your food taken away.
Well, found something here. Here, not home, but found and eat, but not filling.
I'm gonna be nice, burn another spell slot, and make the doggy some good berries. They may not be the nicest, and if you prefer meat, they probably won't taste very good at all for you, but these might help you somewhat, at least make it back home.
You would take them and eat them. A home, bad place now. No, not going back home.
Do you come from, and I'll point in the direction of the tangle?
Yeah. Old home.
Do you want to come with me, boy?
No.
Fine then. Nah, if we've got some idea of what might be in the area with the worms and everything, then I would probably just thank it for its help and wish it well.
Mm-hmm.
Give it a little mossy pat on the back. And then, yeah, turn back to the party and... Well, it seems there's some form of worm in the area. It doesn't need necessarily... Doesn't mean necessarily anything dangerous, but anything of this size is probably not safe.
All right, well, just if it's not coming towards us, let's just keep going and keep an eye out.
You say it doesn't mean it's dangerous, but it is kind of a giant worm that can eat stone. That seems pretty dangerous.
I mean, not if it eats stone, because it's not going to be wanting to eat meat, because it's got all this fresh stone. But no, yes.
Okay. If we're not willing to chase after it, and it doesn't seem like we are willing to chase after it, we'll finish the rest of our watches and be up the next morning.
Yep.
Okay. And I believe we were headed towards the north today, correct?
Yes.
Alright, give me 1 second before you move your token.
Yep.
Oh, I'm terrible.
Do I need a survival first?
Yes you do. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I knew they were going to give out sooner or later.
You are with advantage right now because you are sort of flying above it.
Oh yeah, I know, but I'm just talking about the rolls in general. You know, the rest of them were pretty good up till this point, and now I finally get one that's not so good.
So Zydroin, the area that you're sort of going into, as you continue to the north, and you know, you're up in the air, so you can see fairly well and fairly far. Whereas where you were before was sort of, you know, a very rocky, debris-filled place with, you know, chunks of stone from the city sort of here and there. Where you're getting to towards the north has been more or less cleared of this stone, this debris. It's pretty much a fat...
May I go outside?
Hold on one moment. It's more or less a flat plain. I passed about a mile or so into the hex. And then 1 second, why? I'll be back.
Now may I go outside too? So
Let me see what you've done.
Well, guys, we have a lot of open ground ahead of us.
You certainly do.
No cover whatsoever.
That is exactly what my thoughts were. I mean, for me, it's less of an issue. One, I'm up in the air. Two, I'm used to being a bit more in the open. But the rest of you and the civilians crossing a wide open plain may not be a best idea.
Yeah, you still need some work. There's still tons of stuff on the floor. Grandma just told her. Well, did you? Because she came to ask me if she could go up. Oh, well, she's saying she can't go around. You finished telling her she still had lots of stuff to do.
So do we think we should head from here?
I think that's a discussion for everyone. The others, meaning the other named NPCs, should probably get in on it too. Because it will be a while, basically the whole day of being in the open and at risk.
Just, yeah. The more you're in the flat, the more dangerous it is.
I think she's in bed. Alright, I'm back. Everybody else here?
Yep.
I'm here.
Alright, where were we? Yes. Sort of the landscape is changing towards
I
a
would have
plain.
gone back down to tell everyone. What was that?
I was just reiterating that the landscape is sort of changing into a plains, as it were, without the vegetation.
I would have flown back down and told everyone that we were going to be, if we continued on this path, traveling through a very open area, and that we might want to discuss it with the rest of the heads of the civilians, Kigno and all them.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think we have any major issues about traveling in the open and everything, considering, you know, I don't think we're going to die too easy, but the civilians who are wet paper towels, they may not be so keen about traveling in the open.
Well, other than hiding, what else could we do?
Skirt around the plains. Could try, I mean, it would add more time to our travels, but with no clear destination, I don't think it matters so much.
Well, we sort of do have a destination, right? It's wherever these trolls happen to be. We don't exactly know where that is.
Exactly. So there's no clear defined end zone for us, so it's not like we can say, oh, we've got a week to get here, or we expect it to take a week to get to this place, when we just don't know. I mean, we might try and work around this open area and end up running into the village anyway.
Right, but if we don't know where we're going, we don't know where it's not. I don't see a reason to skirt around, really.
That's fine, then we shall continue through. I was just wanting to make sure that everyone was at ease with traveling through such an open area.
Well, I'll admit, I mean, it does sort of set us on edge. Do any of you know spells that can help the majority of us hide or anything?
Technically, Tadpole can.
Yeah, Tadpole can cast Pass Without a Trace, can't she?
Yeah.
As for me, I could not do a whole lot, actually, in terms of that. Unless...
Well, I mean, you could do Pass Without
Kid-
Trace. You could shift things around as well, yeah. It's a druid spell.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, there it is. Can hallucinatory terrain be moved?
I believe it can be recasted to be moved. But, I don't think it can be moved as long as you're...
Keeping it up.
Yeah. Yeah, you cast it on a location, then it's pretty much there.
Yeah. I was thinking if I was able to move it with us, I could just cast hallucinatory terrain and, you know, keep hills around us to keep us covered as we move forward. But I'm not going to be able to cast it the good 20 odd times to get across a mile.
Yeah.
What's its casting time?
150 foot cube. Oh, it's casting time?
Yeah.
10 minutes. But it's a level 4 spell, so I've only got 3 slots. So yeah, I could get us like, a few hundred yards into the area.
Yeah. Probably not the most effective.
So yeah, short of Pass Without a Trace, is there anything else? Or else me and Tadpole can both cast that, which should...
I believe that would cover 20 people.
Yeah, 20 of us. Anyone else able to cast it? Adrian, or...
Whoops. No, I believe it is not a bard thing. Yeah, Druid Ranger. And then, Tadpole for special. And I don't believe any of the NPCs can actually do it either.
I think my headphones are stopped working.
Can you hear us then? Or I take it not.
It's fine. Long speaker, and I'm not sure. I'm gonna try a different set headset.
Okay. Yeah, I don't believe.
Yeah, things just playing through my phone.
All right. So for that night, as we keep up watches, let us get a perception check, please.
Yay.
Huh. One more?
From all of us?
No. From whoever I'm missing from.
Oh yeah, we are missing.
Sorry, I'm just trying to fix my phone real quick.
Okay, no worries. I'll get one for you then, real quick.
Watches Grim rolls 2 1s.
Huh? Well, you gotta talk with Pap and Graham, because they said you had some work to do as well. And I'm assuming you've picked up all that junk over there. Alright, well, it's not too bad. But Adrian, as it gets to be sort of the watch, you notice that there are sort of very large figures just towards where your field of view is. And this is sort of in between yourself and your owl. These are very likely trolls. There appear to be about 4 of them, and they're sort of towards the northern edges of your camp. They do not appear to be going into the camp, but they are most certainly sort of scouting out.
Do you think, have I noticed that they've noticed it yet, or that they're just kind of looking around?
Couldn't quite hear you. You're a little bit low.
Would I have seen that they've noticed us yet?
Yes, they are definitely scouting around for you. They're sort of looking at the perimeters, looking into you.
Okay.
Like, they're aware of you. They may not be aware of specifics or anything like that, but they know there's a large group.
What's around the camp?
Say that again?
What's the terrain around us?
It is mostly pretty much flat. flat plain-like. I mean, you're standing on stone, basically. And it happens to be, you know, the stone at the bottom of the city.
Am I able to do this?
Yeah, you probably do have about 10 minutes or so. What are you making it look like?
I'm just trying to make it look like there's a kind of like a incline, like a hill of the stone, like the stone, like a big rock or something, kind of like, you know what I mean? Like this is kind of like we're in the floor kind of thing.
Like you're in the valley of a hill or something like that?
I'm trying to make like the cover of us basically be like we're like that, like a cover of stone,
Okay.
like what big rock or part of the ground.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Intelligence check. Ooh, this is where the trolls shine, let me tell you that. Okay.
They totally see through it.
Yeah, not exactly. So after a little bit, though, there is definitely some conversations, and there's sort of an argument going on in their own language. Eventually, they sort of send two of the members back, and two of the members appear to be sort of coming forward still. And I think we're going to wait like 5 minutes or so because it appears everybody has left. So, you know, everybody take 5. I have to check up on my daughter's cleaning anyway.
Let me take. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
So, I had missed what had happened because I was trying to fix my thing.
Still got a bit of work to do. You might have to get like a broom or something to help sweep that stuff up. You're in here? Are you? I'm guessing it's because you said you wanted to show up.
I'm here. I missed what happened before, trying to sort out my phone being
Sure.
weird.
So Adrian spotted a group of about 4 trolls that were sort of scouting out the camp. He went ahead and he cast a hallucinatory terrain and made it look like we were sort of surrounded by, hills and rocks and sort of whatnot of this debris. There was sort of a heated debate amongst the trolls, 2 of whom went back the way they had come, and 2 of which are sort of heading forward to sort of scope out, what's with all these ruins in the middle of this cleared terrain.
Was that there 2 minutes ago? They're just like, was that there 2 minutes ago?
Right. I mean, it certainly looks real to them, because they also, nat 1 on their roll, with addition to a -1 to it.
That's a terrible roll.
Yeah. So, it's certainly real to them, but, well, it shouldn't be there, basically. And then we're waiting for people to get back, because, everybody left.
I forget how hallucinatory. If they touch it, did they touch anything, or do they just go through it?
That just gets passed through.
Mm-hmm.
It is a pure illusion.
Yeah. It still looks like, whatever's going on, even though they're, marching through it. But, their hands and everything would pass through perfectly. And we're going to go ahead, and I may as well... Weird. Are you guys on a different map? I cannot go to a different map.
We are on the map with the red and the green and the yellow.
Let me try refreshing.
I'm seeing the green map with the big rock in the center.
Yes. Try refreshing, because weird things are happening. I couldn't change maps myself.
Still on the green map.
Yeah. We should be on the green rocky map.
I'm gonna be right back if we're still.
Okay, I think we're still waiting on Adrian.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Still waiting on Adrian.
I've been here.
Oh, you are? You didn't say anything when I said we were waiting on you.
I didn't actually hear you say who we were waiting on. I just heard you say we are waiting on.
Gotcha. I might have cut across. Okay, so like I was saying, there are 2 trolls now coming to investigate what's going on. 2 of the trolls have gone back in the direction from where they came. You have a couple of minutes, because they are not moving quickly at all. They're doing their best to sort of be stealthy. It should be noted, they're not very good at it. But that does mean they are going quite slowly.
I'm gonna go hide by this tree over here.
Well, at the moment, you're all asleep. Adrian? I guess the people who would be awake are going to be Adrian, Zeus, Reg, Mage, Lurk, and Tadpole. Yeah, and you would be in various watches, in a whole bunch of townsfolk, as a matter of fact. But without sort of, the hey, do this, people are not doing things. Except for sort of the named NPCs, as it were. But Adrian's the one who noticed them first, so Adrian certainly gets...
I'll probably wake people up before they're looking for us still.
Okay. So, again, people are sort of roused up from their beds. There's some trolls coming to check us out. They've moved pretty close at this point. So they're pretty much where they are in the map. They're having a hard time moving because to them, for all intents and purposes, this illusion is still up. They have not dispelled this illusion. So they're sort of bumbling, walking through, their hands outstretched to keep from bumping into rocks and piles of debris that isn't actually there.
Now that I'm awake, I will go wait by the tree.
So everybody can move their tokens where they wish for this. And I'll be honest, this isn't probably going to be a real combat. This is going to be us deciding what we want to do. Because, I doubt there's any way where 2 trolls can take on, near 40 people.
Including 6 displacer beasts and
Right.
a party of level 10 plus adventurers.
We're gonna beat them the hell up.
So,
Bow, bow, bow.
so it's less a question of where do we want to be and more a question of what do we want to do.
I'm gonna stand there with one hand against the tree, ready to cast Tree Stride.
And there would not
prepare
be a
behind-
tree. I understand that it's this
Oh,
map,
okay.
but this happened to be my most open
I'm
map.
Hold on.
The terrain itself is, flat plain, basically. Or rather, flat stone.
Oh, yes, that's right. Oh, well, in that case...
Well,
I had to reload. I was on the wrong map still.
yeah,
in
it's
that
acting a bit
glorious
strange.
case...
So,
Well, if there's one of those, we're going to jump on its back.
So there's this, hallucinatory terrain effect, and just raising above it, They see like this head of this, dragon and this figure on its back. And so they pretty much shout in surprise. They pull out bows and they start sort of frantically attacking you. We're not actually rolling for it because, again, I don't see a ton of point to it, frankly. But the question is, what do the rest of us do as well? Are we chasing after them or what?
Just destroy them.
Did I hear just destroy them?
No, you're talking about the trolls, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Tadpole made our mind up for us.
Okay. If that's what we want to do, again, that's the thing that we can do. We can utterly blast them to bits. Is that the plan?
Unless I hear otherwise.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we more or less utterly blast them to bits. It doesn't take much. There was 40 people. They were, aware of their presence. We were aware of their presence, and they didn't really stand much of a chance. They had some bows on them that we have seen before. They had some clubs on them. In a new addition, they had several very large nets.
Okay.
Very large
Size
nets,
3
huh?
to 4.
That could be useful.
Yeah, I'll take one of those.
Did you
nets
sweep
off
up the
their
area?
hands.
Yes.
And I'll put one in my bag of holding, unless somebody else wants it.
You can try.
These are quite large. It should be, they're large-sized nets. Hello.
Yeah, something you can make a trap with.
Yes. Anything else, or is that pretty much it for that?
Yeah, that would be it for me, at
Okay.
least.
I think that's it.
So the next morning, as you're sort of scouting out, Zydro, and as you take to the air, you can see sort of in this hex right here that I'm about to mark with an X to our northeastern, as soon as I get on the right sort of thing. If you had to guess, you would guess that all of this debris that you have not seen in this area has been pulled from where you are and piled up, stacked up, moved or something to here. It's a very sloppy X, but it's an X nonetheless.
I can see a faint X resemblance. It's okay. I guess
There's a
I'll
point where the two lines cross.
give us a survival first,
Mm-hmm.
and then I will lead us towards the area.
Okay. Is the plan to bring the entire caravan towards it? Are we having some people hold back, or...
How intimidating can our party or our caravan look like? Do our civilians just look like, villagers that have been uprooted from their homes, or
No, these are people...
Do they have some standing in themselves?
Yes, these are people who are prepared to be going out into this wilderness. I mean, you could think of them as being, first to second level adventurers. They've been
take
trained
these
at some
fuckers with
point,
us.
but they're certainly better than the common, average and everyday citizen.
Yeah, well, we'll take them with us then.
Okay.
Just
Like,
in
if-
case we run into a troll village, it might help to have, some numbers that make trolls think, maybe even with our size, that might be a bit much.
So we're going to pull ourselves onto what is, the most gloriously constructed map I have ever made. Heavy sarcasm intended. And we're going to sort of figure out what to do from there. Because as we go into this area, we can tell that it's been under use. The debris is piled, maybe not in a way that was planned, other than piling it, of course, but in a way that has created sort of roads and culverts and things like that. There are definitely paths through this debris.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gathering about 1 billion tokens. We're sort of doing a 360, and we're, oh my gosh, look, it's so beautiful.
Yay.
And we're pulling in and onto right here at the north. And we're actually a bit further away than we seem to be. But this is basically right where this sort of paths begin to lead us.
Doing a flyover before everyone else gets here, is there signs of like recent life, and if so, what?
Yes, give me a perception
Do you
check.
wanna- yeah, I was gonna say, do you want to roll for that just to see how much I figure out? 25.
Okay. So there's some sort of... There's two very notable things that you can see on it. Number one, there's a large, intact building in the center. And then there's what, for the life of you, looks like some sort of track leading in further to the quote-unquote sort of caves. Or rather, a cave system, as it were. Where the debris is just piled up and then been, dug out from there. There's a lot of... There's something creating some sort of source of water at one point as well. Which happens to be flowing into this sort of building.
I'm gonna... Is this stuff over here like cliff faces
Yes.
high or anything?
Yes, this is higher ground than the lower ground.
Yeah, but like by how much?
Oh, we're talking a good 20 feet or so.
Yeah, so yeah, I'll land up there, and not necessarily trying to hide, but also not dancing on the side of the cliff either,
Mm-hmm.
and just keep an eye out as our group starts moving in.
Okay. So as you're waiting for a while, this sort of thing in the center, this building or whatever, starts making a very metallic chugging and grinding noise. After a little while, assuming you don't do anything and just watch.
No, I'm just keeping an eye out. Yeah.
Okay. What looks like a cart comes out.
Is it full of gore or tentacles? Snakes.
I think it's full of snakes, but it's not really full of snakes. It comes out autonomously and then rolls down the cart into the cave.
How far off would I have left these guys? Like, will they be coming in soon?
That's a
or would I
question.
need to go get them?
That's a question that you can answer.
I probably would have, been 5-10 minutes ahead of them, so I could have had time if there was, an entire contingent of trolls down there to go back and warn them, but not so long that I'd be waiting a long time for them to naturally roll in themselves either.
Right.
And I would have told them, just come up unless I come back and tell you guys not to.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But I think we're going to hold off, and we're going to go ahead and end our session right here, and get to the exploration of this cave and these ruins next time.
Sounds intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
I consider me intrigued.
Okay, so again, if you've been watching, thanks for watching. If you haven't been, I feel sorry for you because you're missing out. Hope you all have a great day, and peace out.
Bye.
Bye now.
Bye.
All right.